Okay, we're just a few minutes away from beginning our session, Introduction to Collaborative Bookmarking. Introduction to Collaborative Bookmarking by Stephen Downes here on February 22, 2021. I'll just turn on the audio recording as well. And now that way I'll have a transcript of this. Hopefully the session goes better than some of my previous efforts. So, and we're live, and I'm just going to go to YouTube now and see if I can't find it. There it is. And now that way I'll have a transcript. Okay, so I'll turn that off. Live feed on YouTube. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I do? Did I just close? No, okay. Stop that. Stupid Dell advertising in the middle of my live session. Fortunately, we haven't started it yet. Still just a minute or two away. Now, what I'll do is start up the meeting. Hope you like that photo that I'm using to illustrate this. That's the that's a snowmobile, a skidoo to be precise, a renegade to be even more precise. In La Rose Forest, I am not a snowmobiler. I was out snowshoeing, but we crossed a snowmobile trail on the way, and there it is. So, let's just quickly jump into our session here. Joined with computer audio. And we are live. So, hooray. And I'm not hearing anything yet. I'll start my video so people can see me. Let's start. Oh, failed to start the video camera. Because I have to turn the video camera on. There we go. And OBS virtual camera. Start. That should do something. Yes, it did. And got participants in the meeting. Still can't hear anything, but I sort of hear sounds. Should be on the TV. Manisha, could I get you to say something? Or anyone? Hi, Gerald. Gerald probably knows more about this than I do. Still looking to test audio, if I could get someone to say something. There we go, that should fix it. Try that again.
Good morning, Stephen.
Now I'm hearing stuff. Perfect. Good morning. And Manisha, if you spoke earlier, I didn't hear anything you said.
I can hear clearly. I can hear clearly.
Yep, I'm all set up here. Okay. And there we go. So now you get to see me. My apologies. So I'm ready to go anytime. almost.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let's make that big. Slideshow. Oh, well, let's do it. There we go. That should be better. And I'll just set up this. You have to set up the slideshow every time, otherwise it'll take up the whole screen. And I never remember how to set up the slideshow. There it is. Browsed by an individual. Okay, from the beginning. There we go. It's beautiful now. So, welcome everyone to this live session on, the slide says social bookmarking, or we could also use the word collaborative bookmarking. We're in a live Zoom session, and we're also broadcasting on YouTube. We may have some people there as well. I don't know. I don't have that window open here, but we do have the Zoom window open here. You can see it on the screens. We got 5 people. So welcome. Oh, and people are already in the chat. Oh, okay. It was Manisha chatting and telling me to start. So it's nice to see you all here. I'm going to keep this chat open, so if you make some comments on the side, I should see them. I might not see them right away because I have to turn away to look at them. So they're going to be over on the other screen there. But I will see them. And let me just move my... Okay. So I'm just making my screen so that everything is nice and handy. I've had issues with some of my previous sessions. They haven't gone the way I would have liked them to, but this time will be different. Okay. Social bookmarking. So what is social bookmarking, or if you want to call it collaborative bookmarking? Well, the first thing is the word bookmarking, and it's kind of what the name implies. It's keeping a bookmark of an online resource, like a web page or an article or even an image, PDF, whatever. The bookmark would contain something like the name, the URL, maybe some information. It originally comes from the idea of bookmarks in your web browser. And, oops, silly thing. If we come over to the web browser here, we have bookmarks. I can see all of my bookmarks. As you can see, I use bookmarks quite a bit. Not so much in the web browser anymore, but it's still pretty useful. And if I show all of my bookmarks, so here are my bookmarks, and you can see the elements of a bookmark. And you can try this right where you are with your own browser, depending on what kind of browser you're looking at. It may show up slightly differently. For example, if you're using Internet Explorer, it'll show up as favorites. Chrome, I believe, is just bookmarks. Let's see. Here's Chrome, and it's a bit harder to find that. There we go. Bookmarks. And so I can show all of my bookmarks in Chrome. Here, see what I've done here is I've created a bookmark toolbar on my browser. And again, this is something that you can do with your browser, and it's pretty handy for sites that you visit a lot. If we go back to my Firefox, See, I can use the Bookmarks toolbar. Now I have to go View, Toolbars, Bookmarks toolbar, and I'll always show, and there it is. Generally I don't use it, but it's there. So View, Toolbars, I'll turn it off now. I don't use it because I like the nice big screen and the big pictures and lots of area to read text. Now you may have heard a meow there. That's Julia, who is now very concerned because I have closed the window. Closed the door, and she's panicking. But she's a very skittish cat, which means if I get up to open the door to let her out, she'll run and hide somewhere. Such is life. So I hope, as I go along here, I hope that you'll follow along and try some of these things out in your own browser. And so I'm going a little bit slowly to give you time to do that. Everything that I do here, you should be able to do in your own web browser, right? In fact, in the very browser, I guess if you're watching on Zoom, you'll have to open your web browser or change windows to your web browser, but you should be able to do that while watching and listening to me. If you find it a bit awkward to do that, maybe try something like this. See now, desktop. So let's look at our desktop here, and it's a bit awkward. I've got, I'm either looking at this or I'm looking at my screen. What you can do is, and this is what I often do, make this a little smaller, put it on one side. You might not even want to show the chat. You might, but it's up to you. And then just move your browser like this. And what you've done is basically you've given yourself a two-pane window. This is something I do quite a lot, actually. Because, especially if I'm working with only one screen, which is what, 99% of people have. So I'll just arrange my windows so that, I'll have my browser on one side and my chat environment on another side. That allows me to do things like follow along with the Zoom meeting by doing stuff in the chat. So here I am. I can, here's the live stream of our video, and we've got currently one person watching the YouTube live stream, which is pretty nice. And here's Twitter, and 3 people have liked my tweet about the live stream, so I've got a 1-to-3 ratio there. And so I'll be able to show some of the stuff here. Now, from time to time, and in fact, starting almost right away, I'll expand my browser window so that I can give you the best possible view. But you can leave yours like that, and that way you can watch me if you want to watch me. You don't have to. And you can watch the what's happening on the screen. And then just to make life interesting, I've got my slides on top of all of that. This is why I get so confused sometimes, right? Because I got all these different windows happening here. And, in the world of professional broadcasting, you have one person doing the presenting, another person handling the slides, another person doing the, let's change windows kind of thing. All right. So, again, if you have any comments or questions as I go, you can put them in the chat, or I want you to feel free at any time to interrupt me and ask a question, make a comment, or whatever. Oh, I can't resist. And I don't know if my wire isn't long enough. Oh. There's Julia. Settling in for the long haul. Say hi, Julia. All right. How's that for professional production? All right. Get this back to where it was. Okay. Just thought you might like to see that. So, for this session, which I'm aiming at an hour, so I want to be out of here by 11 o'clock my time or 9 o'clock Alberta time, where this is being hosted. We're going to look at 3 tools. One called, I don't know what to call it. In my mind, I always call it Diigo. That's probably wrong. It's probably something like Diigo or something. But anyhow, I call it Diigo. Then Pocket, and then Zotero. And each of these, there's some overlap in the features of each of these. And they each have really kind of a different purpose. I don't use Diigo so much as I used to. I use Pocket a lot, and I use Zotero a lot. But Diigo is a really nice introductory tool, and I think you'll appreciate. I think you'll appreciate, some of the functionality that it offers. All of these, they start with a free version. And then there are certain limits on what you can do, and then they move to a paid version. I don't pay for any of them. I think that if you started using Diigo a lot, you would end up paying. Pocket and Zotero, I have yet to hit any sort of limit where I would have to start paying. And really where the limits are is if you start saving copies of the resources you're bookmarking. And you see, she wants out. But if I go over there to let her out, she'll hide. So you can't win with her. Okay. So let's have a look then at Diigo. So here we are. And I'm just checking the chat. We're good. Okay, I'm just going to change that ever so slightly. There we go. So, for me, when I open up Diigo, it opens up on my library. But let me sign out. All right, hang on. Now she's meowing. And there she goes. I tried to let her out. She goes running away. So, this is what it looks like when you just go to it and you haven't used it before. So, as is the case with all of these services, you sign in. What I do for stuff like this, and maybe it's not best practice, but I always sign in with Google. I do not use Facebook at all, so you'll never see me sign in with Facebook. But if you're a Facebook fan, you could. But I sign in with Google. And again, I hope you're following along. And if you are, you can either create a new account. Here's the create a Diigo account. And you see the pricing plans, right? So you only get 500 bookmarks, and you only get to mark up 100 web pages or PDFs. For me, that's really low. So I would end up having to pay, a lot. These are some of the features that it has. You know, if you're just using it occasionally, the free plan is perfectly good. If you don't think you're going to go more than 500 bookmarks, and you know, you could create a new account and then close it and create a new account if you wanted to use, use it differently for different projects, or you can, use different email addresses, etc. But in any case, you would choose the plan. So we're just choosing the plan here, and nothing's happening because, of course, I bet you that happens pretty quickly. No, nothing's gonna happen. Try for free. Okay, it'll let me do that, right? Yeah, of course. So it's going to let me try the full professional version for free. And it's not going to let me choose any of these. This is what they call a dark pattern, right? Maybe these up here will work. Oh yeah, that one up there works. And you can just create an account. But like I say, I like to just sign in with Google, so that's what I'm going to do, and it just pops me right in there, so yay. So there's at the top here three major, well, four if you count tools, but three major things, and let me make this bigger for you. Oops, too big. So my library, that will be my list of bookmarks, my outliners, my groups, and then tools. So let's look at my library first. As you can see, I have a number. See, I haven't used it for a while, 2016. Although I did prepare for this session by doing some rehearsal yesterday. So we've got these URLs and that I collect, and it's just like in my web browser, it's a list of bookmarks. But what's really nice is that because it's on the web, it doesn't matter where I access it, the bookmarks are always the same. Here, for example, is my Chrome browser, which has its own bookmarks, right? And, Firefox bookmarks and Chrome bookmarks are two completely different browsers. But if I go to Diigo, D-I-I-G-O, and see, here I have exactly the same bookmarks, and if I added a bookmark in Firefox, it would show up here. This is a really nice feature. And if I went to the kitchen and used Andrea's computer and logged into Diigo, I'd see the bookmarks. And so even if I'm not sharing with other people, this is really nice to have. And it was actually this kind of thing, this kind of capacity, that got me started programming on the web some 30 years ago. 30, maybe 25. It's probably more accurate. Because this didn't exist, and I wanted to be able to use my bookmarks both at home and in the office. And so I wrote my own bookmarking system, which grew up and many years later became the system I know and love called Grasshopper. And that's a little history for Gerald, so you know. So, close Chrome, here we are. Now, if I want to create a new bookmark, I just click on plus, and here now we have some options. Bookmark, or I could save an image, or I could save a PDF, or I could just write a note for myself. So let's save a bookmark. This is 99% of what I do. I virtually never use note-taking. I'm just like that. I sometimes save PDFs, but usually I just save them to my own computer and then use cloud storage. And Manisha, we could have cloud storage as a future subject for one of these, because I find that really useful. So anyhow, I'll click on bookmark here. So first of all, the URL. So let's find something. Here's a completely arbitrary thing. Docker compose my whatever. So what I did here is I highlighted it. I did a right click, copy, and now we'll go back to Diigo. I'll do a right click, paste, and I'm in. And it's going to take a couple seconds to save that. Now it wants a title. If I don't give it one, it'll give me the really awkward title here. So I'm going to go back to the thing that I saved. That wasn't it. Now I've lost it, right? Because I have too many of these windows open. Okay, well, I'll just find it again. Oh, that was it. Okay. Copy. And now I'll just highlight this and remove it. And now I could do right click and paste, but another way of doing it is Control V, and that also works for paste. And then Docker compose my SQL database seed, database in Docker, whatever. And down here are tags. Tags are some of the magic that was created with bookmarking systems. We think about tags as social media, but tags actually originated with bookmarking systems way back before there was any such thing as social media. When people were doing shared bookmarking, they would create tags for the bookmarks, and it's an idea that social media picked up on a number of years later and used as part of its own system. But anyhow, the idea of a tag is pick a word that you think gives us an idea of what's on this page. So Docker is one, right? Database is another one. MySQL. And I could also create my own tag, maybe like how to, or maybe I want to keep this specifically for Manisha, so I'll make that a tag. Whatever I want. And that's the beauty of tags, is they can be whatever I want. So if you're following along and creating bookmarks, maybe add some tags to your bookmark. Now I can either make it private or I can read it later. I'm not going to do either of these things, so I'll just add it. And now here is my new bookmark and my tags. And the idea now of tags is I can click on the tag and it will show, it looks for all of the results having to do with that tag. Now it's showing no results for Docker, which is not useful, and I don't know why. Let's just remove that little hash. Normally, when you create a tag, it has what they call a hash mark. It's also known as a bang. Not a bang. A bang is an exclamation mark, hash mark, or there is another word for it, but I forget what it is. I just think of it as a hash mark. Anyhow, normally when you create a tag, you put this hash mark on the front, and so the whole thing gets called a hashtag. Here in my search, I'm just going to remove that, and now I'll just search for the bare word, and here it is. So it's a bit tricky, right? They don't say it, but when we tag something, if we're not using the hash on it, then it won't be found in the hashtag search. So let's go back to that bookmark. Here it is. I can do things with it, and in particular, I can edit it. So let's edit it, and let's give it a hashtag. Let's see if that helps. All right. And let's try that. No, it's still not going to work. So, yeah, it's doubled up the hash. You see, there's a little glitch in Diigo that's the sort of thing a lot of times you have to watch out for when you're using this kind of software. So I could also get a shareable link. So this is a URL shortener service as well. And so I can just copy that link. So I'll copy it, and now I'll open a new window and I'll just put that in here. There it is at the top, and I'll hit enter, and that takes me to Diigo first of all, and then it forwards me to this article. And you notice that it's not the article page itself. I can click to it directly. It's to a Diigo copy excuse me, of the article. And it's an annotated view, and what that means is I could add comments to it if I want. So let's do that. So again, I'm looking at my link. I'll click on Annotate Article. So, oh, that's new. We'll come back to that in a sec. So here we go. Now I'm in the annotator, and the way I'll do that is I'll find something that's interesting to me, for example, this, and I'll highlight it. And now I can give it a color, but even more importantly, I can highlight it and comment on it. So I'll say something like, where's my comment go? Oops, that's not it. I broke it. It won't back out. I don't like it when it does things like that. Just try to go back to where I was. No. No, no. Nope. See, this is what happens in my live demonstrations is I do things and there we go. It's because my page was so large, there was no way for me to get out of this. Okay, let's try annotating again. So here I am, annotate the article. So now I'll highlight something. There we go. And now I can add a comment, add a sticky note, share, copy, or delete. That's delete the annotation, not delete the article. So let's add a sticky note. So this is really important. Save. So now my annotation is available, and what's really interesting is anybody, and we'll talk about that, anybody who's following along and sees this article will be able to read my annotation. So this will be a nice tool for a group of people to look at one article and everybody annotate together with it, on it. Okay, so that's annotation. As you can see, we're having a little glitch. There we go, with Diigo. So the My Groups is where the collaboration comes in. I'm going to click on that, and this is a list of my groups, and you can see they go back to 2014 in the original MOOC, the very first MOOC that was ever run, Connectivism and Connective Knowledge, 2008. We used this tool for collaborative bookmarking, and that's why you see this here. It's still there. And since the last time I looked at it, which was in 2009, there were 48 new or updated items. That's pretty cool. So here are the people who were in this CCK08 group, and here are some of the things that they uploaded. So now I can look at one of them. Okay, so this is an article that is more than 5 years old. Here are, it's just the display. Here are the tags that it's associated with. Let's click on opinion. You see, and a number of people tagged it with opinion. Here are other tags that they used, and you see how we can create almost a taxonomy of subjects that are in our course. Back in the day, this used to be called a folksonomy, because people, the common folk, made up their own tags, their own ontology, their own taxonomy, and didn't need to rely on librarians or experts. Here's another one, Learning to Live with MOOCs, from 2013. That's pretty recent. Well, relatively recent, I guess. So, more, link to this item, or I can send it or enable email alert. This tells me who it was shared by. And here I can collect all of the things that a guy called Ed Webb shared over the years in this group. Now, you might want to create your own group if you're offering an online course, for example, and you'll keep it under, well, whatever it was, 500, 900, whatever resources. So, my groups, and over here it says create a group. You can't create a group because of your pricing plan. Because I already have a group. That's what happened. Maybe if I remove my group, I can create a group. I created a group yesterday just to test this out. So let's try that. My groups. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, part of the problem is with its new pricing plan, if I create a group, and this is the group I created yesterday while testing this, it has to be a private group. And I can only create one. I'm going to delete this group so you can at least see this. Delete the group. Delete the group. Come on, Diigo, delete the group. The idea here is that I can create a group, give it a name, it'll have a URL, I'll give it a description, I'll give it a category. See, now here, you can't create new public groups because of your pricing plan. Now, if I paid them money, I could create a public group. Searchable, sure. Apply to join, again, either people could ask or by invitation only. Again, I can't make it an open group because of my pricing plan. And then who can invite new members? So I'll create my group. My group has been created. Go to my newly created group, or I could invite people. So here is how I invite them, and I just put in their email address here. Like that, except without a leading V. Invite, and that way I've invited myself to the group, and it should show up in my email up here. It might not, because I was inviting myself, right? Although you never know. So that's not ideal, but only having to pay for that feature, but it's useful to at least know that you could. And again, depending on your circumstances, $40 per year, which is like $5 a month, not even, isn't too bad. If you're a college or university, well, this is like $10 per month per user. This doesn't mean members of your groups. It means people who can create groups, etc. So you'd buy one account for each of your professors or whatever. All right. So that's Diigo, and that's an introduction to bookmarking. And I'm just going to check now. I'm going to check the see if we have pound sign. Yeah. Hash sign, pound sign. That's the other name for it. So thank you, Gerald, for that. Yeah, I should have realized that. Pound sign. Okay. So we're gonna go now to the next one. And this is a tool that I use rather more often. Oops, too fast. And that's Pocket. Pocket comes from Mozilla. And Mozilla's the same. That's the same people who make the Firefox browser. So it is, if you want, built right into the browser. I like that a lot. So let me close out all the Diigo stuff here. So, and in fact, this is Pocket. This here, recommended by Pocket. This is collected from other people and curated by Mozilla. Now, it used to be really good, but then they got sponsored by food companies, and now they keep throwing recipes and stuff in here, and I try to tell them I don't want recipes with my news. See, there's another one, etc. So it's not as good as it used to be. The decoy effect, right? But it's still pretty interesting. A little off topic though. Pocket, the website, and I never type URLs anymore, I just type Pocket. Take the extra step through Google, and here I am. So, isn't that odd? Oh, I see. I'm fooling myself again. And apparently I'm getting a phone call. Hang on. Hello? Oh, hi, Jean-Francois. I'm right in the middle of doing a presentation. Can I get you to call me, like, after 11?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. That's not the first time I've taken a phone call during one of my presentations. Yes, I'm that professional. Okay, so Pocket. Now, why is this? Oh, right, that's why. So, this is my Pocket startup screen, and again I'll log out so you can see what it looks like from the startup. So here we are. The URL is actually getpocket.com. I guess because somebody else took the name Pocket. I'm not going to search for it. Who knows what's there. Again, you can sign up with Google, which is what I always do. So I'm going to click on that. And because it already recognizes me, it'll take me right into it. So this is my account. I can manage it, etc. So, okay. So what? Well, again, just like Diigo, it's a bookmarking tool. But unlike Diigo, it works more interactively with my browser. See, what you can do, I'll just search for it to find the page. Pocket extension extn Firefox. So it's not going to help me. All right, so what you can do if you're in Firefox and also if you're in Chrome is install an extension. So in Firefox, I have everything minimized up here, but I can always right click and open up my menu bar. So there's my menu bar up here. And now Tools, Add-ons, Extensions. Now I can search for Pocket, and it's probably recommended. Way too many Pocket. Add-on type, extension. That might narrow it down a bit. Nope. Boy, that's really annoying, eh? Mozilla Pocket. No. Well, you're not going to be able to find it by searching, really. Wow. Explore. It's going to be one of the extensions that are recommended right off the top because it does come from Mozilla. And I might not be finding it because I actually have it already installed. That's another subject, is extensions. Extensions for Firefox or Chrome has a similar sort of thing. Let's see if I can do it in Chrome. So for Chrome, I'm looking for Tools, Extensions. And let's see if I can find it here. Save to Pocket. Maybe that's the way to find it in Firefox, is to search for Save to Pocket. Let's try that, because it bothers me that I couldn't find it. Save to Pocket. Yeah, it probably would show me here if I didn't already have it installed. Okay, but here it is in Chrome. And again, I already have it installed. So let's remove it. Remove. And we'll go through the addition process here. So Pocket, searching for it now. Not finding it because, okay. More tools, extensions. Oh, I've broken it. I can't add extensions. How can I add extensions? You silly thing. Advanced. No. extensions. Duh. All right. You'd think it was in the same place, but no. It's in settings to add, and then extensions to list the ones you already have. So, add to Pocket. No results found. How about just Pocket? No search results found. How annoying is that? Open Chrome Web Store. Maybe it's in here. Pocket. There we go. Pocket. Save to Pocket. 3 separate places to look for extensions. I'm going to click on that. Add to Chrome. Add extension. And now it's saved. And now it's added. And offered by getpocket.com. Also available for your mobile phone, which is very useful if you're using Android. If you're using an iPhone, you're on, you're rich. I don't care. I'm just kidding. But am I? All right. So now when I go to Pocket, here I am going to Pocket, signing in with Google. And I should see all of my, and it's going to go slowly. Why is it going to go slowly? So nothing's going to happen when I click on that. So this is why I don't use Chrome. Anyhow, back to, I mean, it would eventually work. So back to Pocket. So here we are. And again, it's very similar. I can save a URL. There's the URL I would save, and I can add it to my list of bookmarks. But also, when I've added it as an extension to my web browser, you see this little icon here? Save to Pocket. Now I could go to a web page. Let's go to, well, that same web page before, right? Docker compose MySQL. I'm going to save it, right? I can add tags, Docker, MySQL, database, save. And so now when I go to Pocket, here's my new thingy. And there are various ways of sharing my pockets with other people. But there's nothing like groups the way there was with Diigo. And so that's going to take us to our third our third sharing tool. And I only have a few minutes left, and this is a really big tool. Indeed, it could be a session all on its own, but that's Zotero. So Zotero is a workhorse, and if you're doing academic work, this is really the tool that you'll probably want to use. The other tools are nice for projects, for informal classes, things like that. But if you're writing a paper, you need proper bibliographies, maybe you're working with a group of authors, Zotero is the way to go. Again, Zotero has a free mode and a you have to pay them mode. I've used Zotero a lot. I still haven't paid them. Now, one of the distinctions about Zotero, and I'm just going to look for it here. Again, I never type URLs in, is that it's actually a downloadable app, and it looks like this. And to install it, click and download, and it'll work really well. While you're doing that, install Firefox connector. So first install Zotero, then install the connector. Comment? Oh. All right, that comment appears to have been addressed to my cat, who is now getting more feedback than I am. That's pretty good. All right, yeah. So, okay. You can feel free to jump in and speak if you would like to, but I'm pretty happy with the dog's comments too. Okay, so after you've installed Zotero, you can just launch it from your Windows Start menu. You might have to go to All Apps to find it, and it's conveniently at the bottom. And so here's what it looks like when it starts up. As you can see, I use it a lot. It looks like a lot. It looks like it's sort of hard to manage, but it isn't really that hard to manage, especially once you get used to it. So, Zotero is organized by libraries. There are individual libraries and group libraries. To create a new library, I can create a new item. Where'd it go? New collection. Untitled test. All right. Right. So my library is the list of all of my collections, my personal collections, and I've created a new collection under test. I'm going to right click on this. I can rename it, delete it, etc., or I can create sub collections underneath it. And I do that sometimes, but not very often. Once I have a collection, I can start adding things to that collection. There are different ways to add things. For example, just clicking on new item. Now it lets you choose between book section, document, etc. There's actually a much larger list you can choose from. Journal article, for example, newspaper article, map, whatever. This is sort of important, sort of not important, but it'll define the fields that are available to you over here on the right when I go to add my new resource. So I can add a blog post, put in the author, blog title, website type, whatever you choose for that, the date, the URL, which is pretty important, etc. You can add a lot of fields. Here's something that I've created for a project that I'm working on called Ethics, Analytics, and the Duty of Care. As you can see, I've saved tons of resources related to this, and different resources have different fields depending on the type of resource. So with Zotero, there's also a website. So here we are on the website. I'm going to log into the website. I don't get to use Google for this one, so I'll just use my password manager, and that'll let me. I use password managers because it's really hard to remember all the passwords in the world. That's another possibility for a session in the future. So I'm going to log in. Now I'm logged in. It's sort of hard to tell, right? But I'm going to go to groups. Here are some groups that I'm in. Firefighter training. That's a group for a project that we're working on right now. and another group called Plurn, which was a personal learning environment application I worked on a little while ago. I can create a new group. I'll just call it our test group. Obviously, it's not going to stay around for long. I can choose the type of membership, public but closed, which means that the members would have to be invited or they have to apply, or private. I'll create the group. Now I can allow anyone on the internet to read this or any group member, and I'll save my settings. So now that I've created a group, okay, it's going to take a few seconds to show up here. And it might not show up right away here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close Zotero, and then I'm going to open it again. And so there we go. And it still hasn't showed up. It might take a little bit of time for it to show up. Or it might be rejecting me. Who knows? Yeah, okay. I didn't fill in this. No, it seems to be okay. Still having trouble setting this group. I don't know why. I know this works. There we go. That maybe has done it. Let's go home to still looking for my groups. There it is. Our test group has now been created. It might have insisted that I make a private group because I'm not paying them money, but it's not going to tell me that. So, see if it's shown up yet here. Yes, here it is on my application. So, now I've got a group. And, you see in this firefighter training, we've got other people in this group. We're all working together and adding resources to Zotero. This is really handy. But even better, now I'm going to go back to, well, I won't need to. I'm going to go to this site here. Remember I saved it in Pocket. Well, you remember I added the extension when it asked me to. So, and in fact, we can find it in my list of extensions as well, probably. It's not gonna, right, it's not gonna find it because I have it. And it's not gonna be helpful in letting me find it, but I do have it installed. Add-ons. There it is, Zotero connector. So I have it on, I have it enabled. A lot of stuff I have disabled, but this one I have enabled. Extensions is a great topic for a session. Because once you know what you're doing, they're so quick, so easy, and they add so much functionality. All right, so let's go to this Docker thing. So my Zotero extension, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. That's it. Horrible logo. It used to be a nice big Z and easy to find, but it isn't now. So I click on that. Now, for this to work, Zotero has to be running on your desktop. If you don't have Zotero running, it'll just say Zotero is not running. And it'll be annoying. So now, where do I want to save it to? I'm going to save it to test. Here are my tags. Just like before. I can even take a snapshot. In fact, I think it'll automatically take one here for me. I'll click done, and I'm done. So what happened? Well, let's go to our test group. Yeah, where is it? Again, it sometimes takes us a few seconds. Let's go to groups, our test group, recently added. Oh, come on, you silly thing. Should be there. Let's try reloading. Trust me, it's going to show up. But it's being slow because I'm right at the end of the session, and that's why it's going to be slow, right? And it's not usually slow. Let me try adding this random page to this refs group. Okay. That should have worked. I'm clicking on things randomly now, hoping it'll work. Yeah, there it is, right? So it showed up right away in this previously established group. This is the page. And here's the title, etc. Now with Zotero, you have to be careful. Sometimes the URL doesn't show up. That's not useful. Sometimes, in fact, very often, the website title won't show up. So you'll have to, you use this, but then you have to go in and type in things like the name of the website, sometimes very frequently the author. Okay, so one last thing about Zotero, and then we'll wrap up the session. And this is why it's so loved. Oh, there it is. Docker Compose is here. I think the reason why it took time is it was saving a copy of the page. So what I want to do now is create a bibliography with my resources. I'm just going to create a real short one just to make it faster. Not that it'll be faster probably, but so I want to export. Is that right? I don't know. I can never remember. Right. No, it isn't. So highlight it. Now right click on it. Create bibliography from collection. Click on that. Look at this. All the different styles. Chicago Manual of Style, APA, AMA style, IEEE style, Nature's style, and in fact you could add more styles by managing styles, or you could create your own style. So right click, export, no, right click, create bibliography. Can you tell the mistake I make all the time when I do this? Right. And I can save it as RTF, which is rich text format. It's like saving it as a Microsoft Word document. I can save it as HTML if I'm creating a web page, or I can copy it to the clipboard, or I could print it out, but I don't even have a printer hooked up, so who cares? So let's copy it to the clipboard. I'm going to click OK. Chicago Manual of Style. OK. So then nothing happens, right? Well, but it's on my clipboard. I just have to know, right? Keep in my own mind, my own memory, it's on my clipboard. So I can do something like open up Microsoft Word. And I'll create a blank document. It's still on my clipboard. So I can go right click, paste. There's my bibliography in the correct format. I could also just use Control V and I get the same result. So I don't need to worry about have I formatted it right, do I have all the commas in the right place, etc. As long as those forms are filled out in Zotero, when I save the reference, it's going to give me a properly formatted bibliography. Do I love that? Yes, I love that. Because you have no idea how long I have spent as a researcher writing up these bibliographies and hating every minute of it. There's more. I've just touched the surface of Zotero. But again, collaborative bookmarking, because we can work together as a group with Zotero. We can sort our bookmarks by tags. We can make subgroups, etc. Oh, you didn't even see it because I had the wrong camera on. Let's come back to that. So I'm starting up Microsoft Word. So let's go right through the whole process from the beginning because I was stupid. So here I am in Zotero. Here is my library topic collection. Could have been this, could have been this. Let's do this one just for a change. Right click, create bibliography. Here are all the different styles I can choose. Let's do IEEE this time. I could save it as a rich text or HTML file or copy it to the clipboard, which is what I'll do. I'm going to click OK. OK. Looks like nothing happens, but I open up Microsoft Word. Here's my document. It's in my clipboard, so I remember that. I do Control V or right click paste. Different ways of doing it. Keep source formatting. Maybe I'll do that. No, I'll do it like this. Merge formatting. You have to pick a little bit, right? I see there's a bit of a glitch in the IEEE formatting, but such is life. But anyhow, here's my bibliography. All beautifully formatted. Everything the way it should be. So that's the session. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found something useful in that. I am pleased to say that it went way better than some of my previous sessions. Got a thanks from Gerald, who stuck it out for the whole session. You're welcome, and I hope the rest of you found it useful. And are there any comments or questions before I wrap up? Doesn't look like it, and we've lost Manisha, so she won't be around to close. Usually she does a nice closing with the Maxwick Cultural College acknowledgement, but I'll do that for her at the end with the only words of Cree that I know. Hi, thank you. And we'll probably see you, we don't have it scheduled yet, but probably see you next Monday at the same time with a topic yet to be announced. So thanks everyone. Happy to be with you again today, and see you again next time. Bye y'all. And if you're watching on YouTube, that's the end of the session there as well. So again, thank you for joining us. And I'm going to stop streaming, stop recording.